Mark here from Mark 2.0. We are just thrilled to have our next guest, Marina Anderson. She is an actress, publicist, voiceover artist, you name it. Everything under the sun, has her own jewelry company. Marina, welcome to the podcast. This is such a thrill.
Hi, guys.
So glad to have you here.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
And we got the kids too.
Exactly. Welcome.
And thank you both for being here.
They quieted down now.
Yeah. This is such a
It's
thrill.
like they knew or something. They're really smart.
They are. They both are super smart. Yeah. Got them hand command trained, and of course she's still in progress, but she knows
I'm
about
impressed.
seven commands now.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
We're working on the sit stay thing, but she knows everything else. Turn around, shake a hand. So,
That's great.
yeah,
Excellent.
the kids.
Yeah.
Okay, you go play.
Yeah.
You want to go play? Come on. You want to say hi on camera? You get a full
There you
view.
go.
There we go. He
Yeah.
went to Vital
Oh, yeah.
magazine with me.
Oh
So
my gosh. Look at
he's already
that.
in a magazine.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay, guys, you go play.
Beautiful
Yeah.
dogs.
Yeah. I'd like to start out by talking about, you grew up in the San Fernando Valley, right? Because I used to live in Sherman Oaks. I went to Valley College, just like you did.
Oh, like for sure.
Yeah.
Yes. I was born in Burbank, grew up in Sherman Oaks, went to Valley College, went to Grant, also went
Yeah.
to Norton,
And
Dix Canyon.
and that's when you started your career in the industry, right?
In high school, actually.
Tell us about that.
Oh God. One of my classmates was Lonnie O'Grady. She had a series, was it Eight is Enough? Eight is Enough?
Oh yeah. It is.
Her brother was Don Grady and My Three Sons.
Wow.
So she
Oh
said,
my
"Oh, my
gosh.
mom's an agent," and she, knew I was in play production and everything, and she arranged for me to meet her mom, and her mom signed me up. I was 16 years old. So, like Licorice Pizza, that story, that agent in that was Mary Grady. That was my agent that they have in that movie.
Wow.
Yeah. Gary Getzman went to Grant High School, and I knew Gary from Grant High School. So
So at 16, this all started for you. Wow.
Hanks,
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
Is it all the Valley thing,
So your parents were okay with this? You getting into acting and all that at 16?
They were okay with it. They preferred that I didn't, although my mom was a contract singer to Warner Brothers.
Ooh.
My dad was a musician, but he turned aerospace design engineer, and then he designed for Epcot, so he was an Imagineer.
Wow.
But my mom, they were both showbiz, especially my mom, but she gave it up in the 40s when they got married. I think SAG went on strike or something, and they got married, and she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and that was what she chose to do. But she still sang, and like with Bill Chadney Trio and a lot of significant bands and things. So she kept it up. She had a gorgeous voice. Yeah.
Wow. So
Don't ask
your
me to
parents
sing.
were
I do
amazing.
sing,
You're
don't ask.
wow. And your dad was like a genius, I guess.
Who? My dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Seriously.
an inventor. He had some inventions. Of course, it all went to Lockheed because he was working for them. But yeah, the reefing line cutter was one of them. He worked in the Polaris missile. A lot of really important stuff. So, Journey into Imagination ride. He loved working for Disney. So.
Oh yeah, I know that ride. I remember that ride growing up.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then my granduncle was a producer. He produced the Randall Scott westerns. So Harry Joe Brown.
Jeez.
Kind of runs the family. Ray Evans, there's a cousin. Mona Lisa Silver Bells, Case Sarah Sarah. I mean, the whole list in 4 Academy Awards. I touched every one of them.
Oh my goodness. So
It runs in the family.
I guess so. So can you kind of give us a little timeline of your earlier days after that 16-year-old? What happened right after that?
Plays in high school, plays in college.
What college is that?
Valley College, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah. I went to CSUN for about a minute. I had a production company, American Biograph, with 7 partners that I went to college with. We produced a lot of commercials for like Motown. I was like a coordinator, wardrobe, you name it. I was in the backyard of the Jackson Five, so I met all of
Wow.
them and
What was that like?
Michael Jackson. They were just really down to earth people, and little Janet, and I remember her, and like
Yeah.
you fast forward, you go, wow. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, I
Great
remember on
performance.
TV, like Different Strokes early in her career and such.
Yeah, it's pretty, when I look back, it's like, wow, I did a lot of production. Yeah. Worked a lot of behind the scenes, makeup, everything. I was Yoko Ono's makeup artist for a couple of years.
Wow. Tell us about that.
My
She was
goodness.
lovely. I adore, we got along so well. When she came in from New York, I would do her makeup for appearances, and Elliot Mintz, who you probably know of, arranged that. And I have it framed. She gave me her phone number to keep in touch, and she wrote it on the Beverly Hills stationery with the Dakota address on it with the phone number. So I have that framed with her.
My goodness.
Unreal.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty cool.
What did she talk about? What was important to her at the time?
Both of us were into like the astrology thing, the psychic thing. She loved to talk about that. And when
Oh.
people would come into the room, she goes, yeah. So it was kind of a
Oh.
conversation.
Really?
She was
Really?
just lovely to work with. Yeah.
So she would kind of like get a vibe off of people that came in the room all the time, and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I never heard anything like
Very-
that. Is that
No.
publicly known?
Very sweet woman.
I guess that's publicly known. I've never heard anything like that. That's interesting.
Some people don't talk about it.
Hmm.
You know,
Mm.
she's very intuitive. Yeah.
So you had a very exciting young life. That's so amazing. Very.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, please,
Please do
don't let
tell.
me
Yeah.
let me
Oh,
stop you.
God. That is for another book. Well, from how old was I? 17. From high school to into the college days, which is where I met Ed Begley Jr., by the way, at Valley College, and Mike Richards, because they were in the same class. And
Yeah. Was
Dale-
Mickey Dolenz there or no?
he went
went
well,
to
he was
Valley
ahead of me.
College.
He was a little older.
Oh, okay.
But Mickey went to Grant.
Grant too. Yeah.
As did Tom Selleck,
Wow.
Vaccaro brothers, I believe.
He's so great.
Everyone,
History
all the cool
there.
people went to Grant, right?
Yes, Three Dog Night performed at our stadium field when they were just getting
Oh
going.
man.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
That's
Should
the
do another
same,
look
is that the
at
same
kind of
field that's there at Valley College or no?
Hmm?
Is that the same field that's there at Valley College right now?
No, it was for Grant High School.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was
Wow.
pretty cool. So I would go to the Troubadour
Oh,
pretty much
yeah.
every night with a couple girlfriends of mine. And the doorman got to know us. He would let us in for free. And the ones that were like substitute, we would just say we have to go to the bathroom, and they would let us through. We would just disappear upstairs and watch all the shows like Cheech and Chong and Bette Midler and
Wow.
Gordon Lightfoot. I mean, you name it. And that's where we
Gordon
met
Lightfoot.
John
Wow.
Henley and Glenn Fry of the Eagles. They were roommates together at the time.
Were
And that
they?
was just when they just formed the Eagles.
So that was
That
back
was-
when Randy
That
Meisner
had to
was
be
still
like
in
one of the
it.
hottest
Yeah.
spots on the planet at the time.
It truly was. Between the Troubadour and Dan Tana's, everybody was at Jack Nicholson, Tommy Smothers, you name any star, they were there.
And
Quite
here
an
you
education,
slipping in and out.
quite a way
I
to
know.
grow up. You know?
Wow.
Really
Very
is. We grew up in the wrong
impressive.
city.
Mm.
Yeah, it was really is a trip. Yeah, great experience. Love growing up that way.
Yeah.
Well,
And
how
all
did you?
the older guys would actually watch out for me because I was young. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
the counter of Dan Tana's and the bartender, Michael, who unfortunately passed away from COVID a couple years ago. I had my little seat that he would save for me, and he would go, "Shh, put vitamins in your tea." And he would put Slivovitz in my tea. You know, it wasn't 21 yet. So,
Oh, boy.
so it was pretty cool. But they looked out for me.
That's good. That's good. At least you were protected back then. I mean,
Was,
that can be
yeah.
a rough. I mean,
It
going in and out of that at such a young age, you know, it's
was different then, though.
you came out
Not like
smart
that
and
now.
not,
That's
you
for
know,
sure.
You know, yeah. Now it's like very different now.
So when did you get to be, I mean, you were doing a lot of little things with a lot of really, big people, but I mean, when did you finally say, okay, this is what I want to do?
Well, since I was 16, it was just a gradual kind of process. I met a producer, Sandy Howard, at Dan Tannen's, and he said, learn anything and everything you can about the business, because you never know where it's going to lead you. So I really took that to heart, and I got into production. And from those production jobs, those led to acting jobs. Like I was a writer's assistant on the Captain Tennille show. And they knew, young actress wannabe and everything. So that one day they came up to me, and associate producer Gary Necessary said, hey, how would you like to be in a skit with John Viner? Yeah. So they hired me to do several skits throughout the season, and Tony Tennille and Captain.
I love that. I'm gonna
Awesome
watch
people.
some when we get done here, just
Oh,
because I
yeah.
haven't
That
seen
was
it
a fun show.
in a while. I missed that.
Muhammad Ali. I mean, I have all these autographs, right? So that was you never know. That's why I tell people, I know you want to act, but go do this, because you never know where it's going to lead, who you're going to meet. Don't close the door.
And you really have done everything. I mean, look at your resume.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was either production, like a 10-page production resume.
Yeah, it really is. I checked out your website. I'm like blown away.
Pretty
Seriously.
intense. So thanks.
Yeah.
Well, my notes say acting, jewelry, writing, PR work. So we're just still in the acting stages right now, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's, kind of branched off.
And then there's the book. I mean, I don't want to go too far in the future. What came next?
Oh goodness. In between the acting, I started to do the makeup work, and that came by accident too. And then I got on these political campaigns doing the makeup, and it led to commercials. And then that's when Elliot said, "Hey, come on board. You need to do makeup for Yoko Ono." Okay.
So you did makeup for on a political tour circuit
Political
or something?
campaigns, yeah. But that was like in the 80s into the 90s. So a while back.
That'd be a good experience to get good as okay, make him look good. Okay, here I go.
Definitely.
Yeah, Pat Brown. I did Gerald Ford.
Challenging at times. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, it was always very nice. The CEO of Southern California Edison. I did makeup for a long time. It was weird and interesting. And so
you just never think about that. All these people want makeup done.
Well, on camera,
CEOs and stuff.
Yeah.
I just they love
to have their
still
makeup
did not
done.
dawn
It's
on me.
Primping,
I guess, it's eternal, so you may as well go for it,
Yeah, now especially with the high density thing, every little pore shows, so you want to make sure you look good.
But then we have software to combat all that. It's a vicious circle.
Oh yeah, like I have in my diffuser here.
Great. Oh, it's great. So what about the book the Eye of My Tornado?
David Carradine, The Eye of My Tornado.
Yeah.
See, that came about, we originally met like 1971. I was taking acting classes, and the acting classes were on the Warner Brothers lot. And so we had a break, and I wandered over to a sound stage, and there were all these candles lit, and I went, ooh, this is cool. So wandering around looking at me, I felt someone like watching me, and I turned around, and it was David in the Shaolin robes with the bulb thing on. And I was totally like, and I was like 23 or something like that. And I don't remember the conversation other than an invitation to come back. I never went back. I don't know why. Maybe we didn't have a break at the same time, or who knows, but I didn't. Fast forward through Ed Begley Jr., I met Gail Jensen. Gail Jensen, fast forward, married. She was wife number, lose track of how many times, 3 to David. I was number 4. Our birthdays coincidentally were on the same day. We met because she was doing shows at Valley. her boyfriend and my boyfriend were roommates together. Is that odd? So
Really?
fast forward, she's married to David. I go up to do the show. Oh, Marina, me, Casa Sukasa, come over. And so I would be invited to all the parties at the house in Mississauga, right near the studio. And then their marriage fell apart. And then David and I, history. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is up in Toronto area.
Yeah. And Mississauga is like the San Fernando Valley of Toronto. It's just outside.
Oh yeah, I know it well. I was in Toronto. I'm from Michigan, so I was in Toronto on
Oh.
vacation
dad's
February
from
2020. Whereabouts?
Yeah. He was born in Benton Harbor, grew up in Ann Arbor.
Oh yeah, I know both cities. I'm a big
Wolverines.
Michigan fan. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I went up to do the show and I guest starred in 4 or 5 episodes. And yeah, the rest is kind of history with David. And fast forward, part of my therapy was just keeping notes of letters, and people kept saying, oh, this is you can help people with this. You've got a book here. So eventually I wrote the book.
Yeah. And that's how you got the dual citizenship too, right?
Right. Well, I skipped a marriage. Husband number 2 was Michael Anderson Jr. He had this series, another coincidence thing, called The Monroes. And Barbara Hershey played his sister.
Oh, Barbara Hershey.
Barbara Hershey,
Yeah.
she never married David, but I count her as kind of like a wife because they had a kid together. So yeah, so Michael Anderson Jr. and I were married, and his dad and stepmother brought us up to write for his company. So we developed comedies and sitcoms and stuff like that. And we divorced. And I stayed in Canada to get my dual citizenship. That was in 1992 to 91 to 95, somewhere in there.
What did you do in Canada while you were there?
Yeah, started a lot of shows, did a lot of national commercials. Yeah, my career really.
Speaking
really
of
taken
yeah,
off.
speaking of national commercials, by the way, I grew up a big fan and as a kid, and I'm probably going to lose all viewers right here. I grew up a big fan of the Pillsbury commercials because everyone remembers the
did
Pillsbury Doughboy. Yeah, I know. That's why I asked.
Oh,
Where was that one filmed, and what was
that
what
was
was
in
that like?
Toronto.
Was
And the
it?
kid, Joe, I think his name was Pascal.
Yeah.
We auditioned together, and we actually got booked together
Wow.
as my son.
'Cause so many people
adorable.
grew up with that, that logo,
Woo.
and I even wrote to the company. They gave me a T-shirt and gave me one of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I had fun doing that, but boy, people don't realize how technical it can be. I mean, you got to take the bite the right angle, have the bucket there because you don't want to eat every take. And yeah, it was, and then the advertiser wanted emphasis on a certain word, and the other person wanted you to look a certain way and a certain expression. I mean, it was like, okay,
It's hard work.
yeah, it was hard work, but fun. So
That does sound. And you did voiceover work.
I did voiceover work. I
What
didn't
the heck
do
did you do
voiceover
on
work
Seinfeld?
there.
That's
When I-
voiceover.
Got back to LA. I did a lot of
Uh.
voiceover campaigns and stuff. So yeah, it's
What was the
now
funnest
everybody's doing
voiceover
voiceovers.
job?
Everybody's in there, you know.
Yeah, it's true. What was the funnest voiceover job you had?
Oh goodness, good question. It was the most fun. It was a furniture campaign. It was a husband and wife thing. It was like kind of like, oh honey, kind of banter. It was fun.
Oh, it was funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So I enjoyed those. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so yeah, there you go. And then the husband number 3 was David for me, and divorced 2001. So hey guys, you got somebody to introduce me to? Let me know.
You're available? Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
There you go.
haven't gotten married again.
Wow.
Haven't found the right guy,
Yeah.
So
Well, there's plenty of time. Take your time,
Sure.
play the field a little bit. you know.
God, the
Oh, my
business.
goodness.
Dang.
With all your
So-
work too, you probably keep very busy. That's for sure.
I do, yeah, I do keep it. Now I'm into writing kid books, children's books.
Yeah, I saw that. Talk about that.
Well, kind of based on my colleague Lou, she's the star of the book. I have like a series of them lined up, and then I have other children's picture books lined up. So she's the star of the book. I don't want to give anything away. I'm having the illustrations done now.
Oh, okay. I get it. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
out yet. Okay.
But it's a very, I can say it's a very Lassie-like story. And where some decisions have to be made, and she's the one that makes the decision. And at the end you go, oh, it's just so sweet. Oh, yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna start something here then. Kids' books, they tend to take off sometimes.
I hope. So I'm anxious to get the rest of the photos together. They're illustrations from actual photos of Lulu. And Susan Rothschild is doing that for me, and they're just magical. So I'm very excited about it. Yeah.
That's your main goal right now. Get that off the ground.
Get that off the ground. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to self-publish or actually try and find a publisher. It's quite an intense process. Patience is not my true virtue. So I might
You and
not
me
wait.
both.
Oh yeah, same here.
To do that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Well, if they took a dump truck full of money right up to your house with limitless funds, and what would you do with that to get it off the
If I had
would you just do-
limitless funds,
Yeah. Would you just take that book out? Would you make that into a
oh yes, yeah, I would
10-part
do it
movie, or-
myself. I would totally, publish it myself and get my other ones lined up and publish those myself. I would just do it myself.
Yeah.
I would do other things with the limitless funds. I would help some friends out, and help some
Smart.
other
I
people
like it.
out.
How long have you been a publicist at Media Hound?
The Media Hound PR started in 2012. I was working for, affectionately refer back to it as the Snake Pit. It was a heavy.
Why?
duty, because it was just awful.
I love this one.
I'm still friends with a couple of the publicists, a few of them actually. But I didn't enjoy it at all. So I was actually released. I created a certain circumstance where they had to release me and collected unemployment. And I finally formed my own company after a while. And Alan Parsons, who was one of my rosters, I couldn't legally take him with me, so it had to circle around later. But he actually, his manager at the time hired me to do publicity for his company, and Alan was his client. So it was how that dovetailed. It was really interesting. And so I was doing Ed Begley Jr., Robbie Benson, Don Most, Happy Days. Just, very eclectic group, a lot of psychics. Scott Hamilton Harris, who's one of the most creative home builders in Southern California, estates, multi-million-dollar estates. Genius, you guys, genius design and everything. So really interesting, wonderful clients. And that's kept me paying the bills and keeping my patients at bay while I'm trying to work at the acting. And in fact, I just got an audition notice tonight.
Oh, congrats. And you're still doing the acting frequently.
Still doing the acting, well, trying to. I mean,
You still got a
audition-
decent resume though. I mean, look at your IMDb, look at your website.
yeah, well, yeah, I mean, but I'm picking different things. It's like it feels great to have an audition, but it's guest star starring roles and really meaty stuff. And when an audition comes in for a couple lines, they go, "There's only small actors." However, the reality of it is, like, you look at the description and you go like, mean 50-year-old nun. So you go, okay, no makeup. Look real gruff. No, don't wear glasses. And it's one line, and you go.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
I kind of want to, go out for some different type of role.
Yeah, I did see you in Melissa and Joey, where you were in the auction.
The auction person, yeah. It's like no lines. That's okay.
Yeah, was there originally lines and they cut it out, or was it just like that? You
They
did a
it
fantastic
changed,
job.
yes. That's happened to me on, I can't tell you how many shows. Movie, I did 3 Walter Hill films. Bless him, he kept having me come back and do these. He's awesome to work with, and editing floor. But get paid and you get the credit, and hey, it's good.
Hey, you were great in the Melissa and Joey.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
The cameraman was winking at me. He goes, "Make sure you get coverage." I went, okay. So it's always, it's an adventure, it's a trip, and just make the best of it. It's like, can't take everything so seriously.
No.
You've had a lot of
Sometimes I
great
do.
adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've had a lot of fun. And that's
Yeah.
why, just talking to you is fun because, because you're happy, you laugh a lot,
I am now. You should have seen me an hour ago.
Oh.
Well, you call us anytime. We'll cheer you right
cheer
up.
me up.
because,
This is a thrill. It really is.
Tell me though quickly about the Flying Goddess jewelry.
Okay,
Why is it
during the
called that
divorce-
first? Why is it
During
called
the
that?
divorce, I had this design, and actually, it was part of a design that I sent to Dabney Coleman, who is a dear friend of mine.
Oh,
He helped
I
me out
love
with my
him. Oh my
colleagues.
God.
Bless his heart. I couldn't afford her MRI, and he paid for it. Because David wouldn't. It was during the divorce, and I couldn't afford it. And he said, "No, baby, I love Lulu. I love you. I'm paying for it." Bless his heart. So I did this kind of fun drawing of this goddess, and it was like half of a woman kind of a thing. It was a cute, kind of funny note with it. And then I thought, oh, wait a minute, that might be good for like a logo for a company, the Flying Goddess Productions. So
It suits you.
thank you.
It really does.
So during the divorce, I was just looking for some therapy, and I thought, oh, I'm going to go back to that design. I want to do some jewelry. So I traced it over and I flipped it over, and it just formed a perfect heart. And I thought, oh my God, that's a
It's a
pendant.
sign.
And I thought, I got to add some humor to it. So you flip it around, it has the hiney side, and it was all kind of dimensional, so you can kind of feel the ass. How deficits of humor. And
I like the duality there.
got coverage on E. Shirley MacLaine had it on her website to sell for a couple of years. So I got some good, sales from it, and that was fun. And I still have pieces. I'm closing it all out actually now, because the guy who was manufacturing it kind of went bonkers. And very lovely guy, but he's decided to do some other things, I guess. And so instead of looking for a different manufacturer, I thought maybe it's time to just do something else. So hence my kid books. But it comes with an empowerment card, and then I designed the Flying Adonis, which is the male version of it. So basically, women are all goddesses. You're born that way. Remember your inner power. It gives you wings to fly. And for guys, you're all Adonises. You gotta remember your inner power. It gives you wings to fly. So people tend to forget that. It's you have it within yourself. It's an empowerment kind of a thing. So it comes with a feather and a nice little package, and cute. Yeah.
But you can't get them now.
Well, you can. I still have a few to sell on Etsy, but they're a little bit different. They're very, very small. They're kind of flat, but they're less expensive. The ones I'm closing out totally is a little diamond or a sapphire for the belly button, and it's a 18 karat gold for the body, and it's solid sterling silver on heavy sterling chains, and they're expensive. I mean, they're like $300, but they're like one of a kind.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's a rare thing. You might want to grab one.
Yeah, and the love note was the last one, so it's a actual musical note, but the base is a little heart, and it blends into it, and it comes with a little card of give someone a little note of love.
Yeah.
Day.
Oh, that'd be great
empowerment.
gifts.
It really would.
Great gifts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yes.
Yeah, we'll advertise
Those are
that
still
below.
selling on Etsy.
We will,
We'll
yeah.
try to sell some.
Now,
Yeah.
as someone who's done so much, what are your keys to success and how do you balance life?
I think when I tell, when I was doing acting coaching, I was coaching off and on for years. You have to be persistent.
Mm.
Don't lose sight of the goal. You can go off and do your stuff, but just hold that there so you don't lose sight of it. Sometimes people lose sight of it and they feel lost and they depression and stuff like that. Just you got to come back to your focal point, and then go off on these side trips, and it'll dovetail back into your goal. I do believe in like what they call dream boards or goal boards. I've never
Vision boards, yeah, same
vision
thing.
boards. Yeah, I've never actually done one, but I
Hmm.
see the purpose in it because imagination does create reality. And your vibration, you'll lock into somebody with the same vibration. And this is and I have it here. It's a quote from Einstein. So it says, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics.
Quantum physics.
Yes, it's a vibration, and your body creates it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we listen to the same people. Yes, we do. I think we do.
Yeah.
Neville Goddard was one of the originators of the Secret, but we're talking going back into maybe the late 40s, early 50s.
I like to listen to Earl Nightingale personally. Talk about, yeah. But gosh, who was the Napoleon?
Napoleon Hill?
Yeah, Napoleon Hill.
Not familiar with.
Yeah, he went around to like I think it was Carnegie and all the big, and found the secret to their success and their positive thinking like that. And yeah, really a long time ago, And anyway, so this thing is just kept rolling and rolling and rolling to today, and it's so great to see the whole, Einstein talking about spooky science, once things get down to the quantum level, and
it makes sense.
it's real science, and people should really believe that it's not just positive thinking. You're literally
it is
creating
beyond that.
It's so important for people to understand what they're tinkering with here when they have negative thoughts. Don't do it.
Right. It has energy behind it. Dear friend of mine, Michael Nacita, he used to lecture. He's got books out, stuff. He lives in Hawaii now, but he studied all this with some people who got it from Neville Goddard, but it was really him that really put it into place for me to understand. And you have to have, okay, what is it that you want? It's like if you go to a restaurant, what do you want to order? Oh, I'll just have some eggs. So they bring you an order of scrambled eggs. Oh, I don't want scrambled eggs. I would rather have poached. Well, you didn't say that. So you have to put in your order what you want, be specific about it, but go to the end result. The end result is as if you have it, not like you're constantly trying to achieve it. It's kind of what prayer is in a way, to see them whole, healthy, that kind of thing. End result. But include your 5 senses. And that's touch, smell, everything, as if it's already happened and you're living in it. As it
is in the Bible, these references. It actually is. And I don't know if you're familiar with the book of Thomas, but this is something that's not actually in the Bible, but was supposed to be direct quotes from Jesus. And he said these things, that you think of these things, and that's how you bring them, So so it sounds like you're pretty much interested in what I'm interested in. And and it's great that you're writing children's books, because I say to everybody, teach your children this thing now.
Oh yeah.
Now, I mean, right now, teach them what you think about is going to happen. It's going to happen. So keep thinking about what you want, and stay on the right
empower
road.
the kids. They're the new generation, and they learn so fast. And I was, healing. I got into healing, a Reiki master and all that. I studied with Rosalind Briere for years. And that taught me a lot too about energy and how it moves through the body and what it can create. And so people who constantly watch horror films or the news, or they're filling their world with all this angst, and you're creating it more in your world.
Sure. Oh yeah.
So it's really hard to get away from that. So I literally have to just shut everything up and, punch up some, salsa music or something and get the different vibe going.
That's smart. Yeah, we feel the same way about the news and all
Yeah,
this negativity.
Me and Mark, well, we were
Fear.
listening to quite a bit of it, and we don't listen to much of it at all now that we just find really interesting, positive people to talk to. It just ate up all our time, and I'm just fine. I don't
same
listen
here.
at all,
Yeah. It's like I saturated out on, do we wear a mask? We don't wear a mask. The fear, I just, oh God, it's
Sure is a roller coaster. Sure is.
Yeah.
So after these,
one other major thing I wanted to get out to people, and I haven't gone public with it, so you've got an exclusive.
Ooh, I love that.
Yes,
That's my favorite word.
I had breast implants for over 35 years of my life, and they were on my third set, and I was not feeling great. I did a lot of research, and I joined some Facebook groups, breast implant illness, and there's another one. There's 3 major ones on Facebook. And I was in discussions with women and their symptoms, and I was like checking mine off. And I had mine removed last December, so it'll be here December 8th, David's birthday of all dates. And I did not choose that date on purpose.
Interesting.
And within a day, I had so much more energy. Symptoms have disappeared. So it isn't all in our head. These things, I believe, are toxic. And I think more women should look into that if they have implants, if they're not feeling well, if they have certain diseases and things. Doctors are, some of them are, some of them aren't into believing that it can lead to that, because it's a $1 billion money-making endeavor to have implants for the industry. So they don't relate how that could possibly be caused by implant. But if you go online and you see when they take them out, what those things look like for ones that are infected or have mold or the bacteria, and those are in the body. It's scary. It's really scary. So, yeah, I invite women to get checked out and make sure they're not leaking. And because I had that happen, and I was exposed to that sticky gooey stuff for like 8 years and didn't know it. So that it wreaks havoc, and women far worse than what I had for symptoms and stuff. So
your body dealt with that for 8 years. The human body is it's amazingly resilient and amazingly fragile at the same time. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. So
well, bless your heart. What a crusade you're on. Yeah, keep up the good work and get that word out. And
and you do a great job of taking care of your health. You can tell you look amazing.
Well, that's part of it's hereditary. I mean, my grandmother was almost 100. My mom was 97, and so I have that. Hopefully, but just the same, it's I really do watch what I eat. I ask questions. People are so intimidated when they go to the doctor to ask questions, and a lot of doctors. I had one say, "Boy, you ask a lot of questions." And I'm like,
hey, you work for me, buddy.
Yeah,
smart.
So
I'm paying you, pal.
Right.
Wow.
Amazing. So it was quite.
I don't accept that from my doctor or the car guy.
No, not that. Jeez. You great one.
Don't get me going on car mechanics, man.
Oh yeah, I know.
Now, what about outside of the books? outside of the books, is there anything else on the table that you want to accomplish in life that you'd like to share?
Just continue on with the acting, and I really want to get these children's books going. That's, yeah.
Would you ever consider like doing something on YouTube? Because you were part of a YouTube series that was successful, no?
Oh, Pure Punnage.
Yes.
That was so much fun. Who knew it would blow up like that? It was amazing. Yeah, I'm open to all that stuff. It's just a hoot to do. And that happened just by chance to a friend in Toronto. Went up to,
Amazon would pick it up like that.
yeah.
Sure,
They
yeah.
would.
I would love to see my story, my book come to the screen.
There you go.
I'm
it would
telling you,
be great
with
for
your
Amazon.
line of friends, and you know what? Yeah, you should definitely pursue that.
It's still a mystery as to really what happened to David. So, yeah, it's still unsolved, and the case is closed. They closed the file in Thailand, so there's no getting that surveillance footage.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, that's still, it bothers me. Not, it really drove me crazy in the beginning. So it's, once they closed the file, it was like, geez, wow.
Yeah, and that is hard to deal with.
But I'm still hopeful that somebody at some point will come forward with more information. So
Yeah.
It's out there.
yeah, somebody out
Who
there
knows?
with something. Yeah.
In these digital ages, somebody gets a copy of it, and
stranger things have happened, right? So who knows?
just mention it here and there, like right here. Maybe someone will see this and go,
Yeah.
"Oh."
Yeah.
Sure.
You never know. Never know.
So I'm putting it out there to get my story, because it is a love story. Even though, God, I really could not stand him in the divorce, and it was just really hurtful what he was doing. And my mother is the one who took the loan out for our house, and he stopped paying the mortgage. And
Wow.
they wanted like $50,000 for my mother. She was 82 at the time. And I had to arrange for a short sale and got her out of that. So her lifetime impeccable credit was trashed because David didn't want to honor what he promised. So there's a lot of like things of what he did, but I let go of that to most of the I have left. But and that was a lot of work. But the love there, I mean, he still had a duplicate of our wedding ring on him when he died. So it was pretty intense. Yeah.
I've been through a marriage and a divorce, and there's many, many levels, many layers.
Yeah.
It's confusing. Your mind
Complex,
changes back and
confusing,
forth.
yeah. I hate you, and then, oh God, I'm still in love with a guy, and I hate him. It's that fine line.
Yes, yeah, I feel that emotional ride that you're trying to talk about right now.
Yeah.
Yes, I still feel it to this day.
So, and no matter how well a divorce goes, the amicable, they have dinner together, it's still, it's not natural thing. But yeah, a lot to be said in the book.
Wow.
Well,
So
I encourage everybody to check it out.
Yeah.
I mean, just listening to you talk, if the book is like this, it's going to be really passionate and just really great.
And you're just such a great soul. This has been such an honor for us. I mean, have someone. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything we can promote, and I hope we're getting in early and making a friend here, because these kid books, we'd love to put out any word on that as soon as it happens. Let us know. Come back.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I could talk to you all night. I mean,
I'm looking to put a few of them to music too. So
Wow. Yeah. Now, what is your favorite?
We know a lot of them.
We never touched upon that. What is your favorite music, by the way?
Oh God, everything from opera to big band to country. I was raised on opera and big band.
Are you a singer or no?
Raised on opera.
I did musicals.
Oh,
So,
musicals. Wow.
Yeah, I did not a lot of musicals. I did several musicals. My dogs were playing. But I was terrified of singing unless I was on stage. I could not sing. I blew auditions.
Wow.
I couldn't do it. because I was always self-conscious because my mother had such a magnificent voice. I was always self-conscious about it. So unless I hid behind a character or something on stage, even happy birthday, get me, no, now I can do it. I,
Yeah.
did karaoke kind of like a few years ago. So it's like, it was a big step for me. So, but I just love all music. Love rap, so it's like, it's all good. Music was
What
actually.
kind
Yeah,
of music
when
do you
Brian
think
was
you
a
want to put
musician,
to
he
your
was
books?
rap. Yeah.
Yeah,
You were into rap.
I didn't rap. No,
No, but
I
listening
played.
to it.
No, I listened to it. That's when rap was
Yeah.
really new, and I was secretly listening to it. We were playing metal and stuff though, but I ran karaoke shows though. Yeah, I was always a
Oh.
singer.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So
Cool.
my bands were. There are not a lot of screaming and stuff. I actually like to try to sing. It's more like that kind of music. But yeah, but what
Okay.
kind of music? Oh, thank you. Well, what kind of a music do you think you would put with your kids' books? What are you thinking? I mean, like,
Um, hmm, well, they're kids, so depending on the story, could be like, very lightweight kind of, I'm tired of hearing the typical music that I hear now for commercials, and there's like the ukulele and stuff. I'm like, okay. Just want something different. I love Alan Parsons music.
Yeah,
Ask Alan.
it's great.
that would be interesting.
Wouldn't it? Yeah.
That would be.
That would.
I mean, kids have heard so much that
Yes,
are
they're
born
so
now.
advanced
It's
now.
not like they were born in his time where everything was just
Right.
like coming out of the 70s and stuff like that, or whatever. But it's like they would probably like it.
Yeah.
Especially a seasoned music. You should get him to do that.
I'm going to ask.
Yeah. That would be so
Something's
great.
going on. Something's going on right here. It's gonna
And
be
also
cool.
something that the kids can sing along to. I remember, of course, they didn't know how psychologically damaging it was. That's why I have a thing about animals to this day. They used to play, to get us to go to sleep, my brother and I used to play Bambi.
Wow.
So I remember at night, the gunshot, the mother, and it was like, and they wondered why I had nightmares. It was like,
Yeah.
they didn't know. So,
That was a different time.
yeah, different time. But they had, classical music, like Peter and the Wolf, and the story.
Oh,
of
yeah, Peter and the Wolf. I remember that.
So-
Yeah.
That would be really cool for some kid books, but original music. Give some musicians, a chance to get their stuff out there too. So
Nice classical orchestrated music. Yeah, I see
Yeah.
what you're saying.
yeah,
Like,
I mean,
yeah.
they could be simple too, depending on, because I have like 30 different picture books lined up.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've been busy.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I have to get to them.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, your husband did what he did, but you are a very accomplished person on your own. I mean, you are amazing.
Yeah.
thank you.
You're amazing.
Yeah,
And whatever we can
yeah.
do in the future to help, with whatever project you're working on, we'd love to be a part of that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Anytime.
Take you up on that.
Sure.
Definitely.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Anything else you want to put out there? Mark, you got any more questions?
This is so great.
I don't know. I'm just a big advocate for no-kill shelters, to get more of those out there, and adopt, don't buy.
Yeah. I found every pet I ever had in the garbage. Literally thrown away.
Jeez.
And I don't like going into malls and seeing those shops,
No.
Yeah.
I see those
Yeah.
price tags and I'm like, this is wrong.
Yeah.
There's just
yeah,
too many problems out there. I don't know.
exactly.
Comment below if you're against me on that, guys. Whatever comment if you're for it or against it. But I bet you most people would agree. Pet
well,
stores, they're
that's
nice,
true.
they're cute, they have fish, but dogs, they're just too smart and emotional to be in those little boxes.
Yeah.
And cats are I had 4 cats, and
Wow.
they were like little puppy dogs. They were so smart and so affectionate.
Oh, you don't know the
Like-
great lengths I went for my cats. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're one of the people who just treat their pets like family. So
I do. They are my
they're a
kids.
commitment and an
Yeah.
emotional ride and a hard ride.
They are. I mean, I never had kids of my own, and that's in the book too. It's kind of my other warpath I was on. This is like $60,000, and I don't know. I went through maybe 12 some odd procedures, and David had stuff on his end, and we had viable embryos and everything, and I got pregnant for like a month and a half and didn't carry. And we went to Dee Hall, the actress Dee Hall, gave me the name of a doctor, and we went to him and he said, "Did you ever have a cross-match test?" No. $150 test. He said, if you have a problem with the cross-match, that could mean why you're not getting pregnant with the embryos and stuff like that. That was the problem. And basically what is that the bands are too much alike, they create a rejection factor. And my Sicilian side, Italians, I was like pregnant up the wazoo. So it wasn't me, it wasn't him, it was the cross-match non-compatibility. And I didn't see these clinics, but at that time, maybe they're more advanced now, but at times, nobody suggested that except for this doctor. Had we known, 12 procedures prior, we would have tried the alternate treatment, which we did try, and is to get the leukocytes up and the antibodies, blah, 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 blah. And it was an experimental program at USC, and Dr. Bronte Stone headed up. Didn't happen, and then our marriage fell apart and there was no continuing it. Fast forward, they had to discontinue the project because the FDA wanted to call the donor person, the donor like David, who did his blood and spin it down with mine, blah, blah, blah. They wanted to consider that a drug. And so they closed the program down because of the complications. And I kind of laughed and I said, David would have loved to have been called a drug. Drug, David. It's kind of the irony of the whole thing. But so they still, I'm sure still exists today, and they still have that test. But I don't ever hear people being tested for it, and they're paying all this money for the IVF and all this. It's a huge process, and so what the woman goes through is, man, that was hard. That was hard, emotionally, physically.
Oh,
I can imagine.
terrible. That didn't end well.
So I implore people to cross-match test if you're having problems. Just
I've
check it
never
out.
even heard of that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's only done in Canada, one place in the United States now, and possibly Mexico. Maybe there's more now, but like a few years ago when I talked to Dr. Stone, it was still pretty limited. But I would think with the advancements now, they should have more labs to do that. So antibody cross-match test for pregnancy.
Yes.
There you have it.
I guess God has other plans for you. You're going to have these other kids in other ways now with these books.
That's right. Yeah. I help with the fur babies and people with animal shelters and all that stuff. And the
That's
books
great.
help.
Well,
Yeah.
you make sure you come back when it launches,
Thank
okay?
you.
Because
Oh,
we'd
I
like
will.
Thanks so
to
much.
talk
Guys.
again.
This was such a thrill. Thanks so much, Marina.
Thank you so much.
It's been
You guys
great
hug.
talking to you. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes. You're just
Okay.
so terrific. Anyway, come back, please.
Yes.
Oh, Bashi,
And let me see that dog. Oh, let me
Yes,
see those
Say
there
dogs
we
again.
go. Nice.
Is-
Yes,
Bye.
everybody, go rescue a dog.
Yes.
Don't
Yeah.
buy a dog. Don't buy a
Yeah.
dog.
Thank
Go
you.
rescue
Rescue
a
a
dog.
dog like
Rescue.
this. He's a rescue.
Yes.
Yes.
Come on, Laughlin. Come on.
Yeah. See, these dogs look like they
He was-
costed
He was
$1,000.
abandoned
Yeah.
at a trucking facility for
Wow.
this little
Look
guy
at
was
that
on
attack
his
dog.
own
That's the security dog.
Yeah.
for 3 months on his own, fending for himself with coyotes and everything. So
See?
yeah,
Yeah, no wonder he's growly.
he's been there
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
love play. They do this for hours.
Yeah. Well, bless your
Oh,
heart. Thanks so much
yeah.
for coming on,
Thank you
Marina.
guys.
Take care. Great meeting you.
You
Yes.
too.
Have a